Azerbaijan's carbon dioxide footprint, actual greenhouse gas footprint, is around 60 million tons. So 2 million tons out of that will be avoided because of this plant.
Hello and a very warm welcome to another episode of Energy Frontiers. This month we take a closer look at Azerbaijan's newest and most advanced power station, the 8th November power plant, located in Mingashevir, often called the nation's energy capital. In just a moment we'll hear from Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Elnur Sultanov, about what this means for regional gas diplomacy and domestic supply. But first, here's a quick overview of what's in play.
The 8th November power plant is a high-efficiency gas facility, the largest of its kind in the South Caucasus. Powered by combined cycle technology, it's designed to generate up to 1,880 megawatts of electricity, whilst cutting emissions by around 50% compared to older infrastructure. Its hydrogen-ready turbines align with Azerbaijan's long-term, low-carbon ambitions, and by saving more than 1 billion cubic meters of gas each year, it has the potential to reshape the country's energy balance, both at home and abroad. So how will the plant contribute to Azerbaijan's energy transition, and how will its impact be measured in real terms?
I'm delighted to say that I'm joined in studio now to answer all of these questions and more by Azerbaijan's Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Elnur Sultanov. A very warm welcome. It's great to see you again.
Hi, Rebecca.
Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure.
Let me start by asking you about the 8th of November power plant. It's now operational, but how will you measure its impact beyond capacity? And what does it actually mean to Azerbaijan in terms of the energy transition and your goals there?
Thank you for the question. Capacity matters when we talk about the contribution of this new plant to Azerbaijani grid system, economy, and overall climate goals. Why? Because this plant used to be the biggest but least efficient power plant in Azerbaijan. But now it's the biggest but one of the most efficient power plants in Azerbaijan. Currently, as we talk, it's producing around 30% of all electricity consumed in Azerbaijan right now. That means that we are going to be feeling and calculating very clearly how much natural gas we are going to be saving by relying on this plant at this capacity, at this level. Second, the earlier plant was boiler plant. The difference is combined cycle plants are very quick to respond to oscillations in the grid system. We all remember what happened in Spain a couple of months ago. This is especially valid and important when we talk about renewable energy.
The plant is expected to free up more than 1 billion cubic meters of gas each year. Talk to me about how that surplus will be deployed. Is it purely for exports, or do you have other plans?
In the best of all possible worlds, this saving could go up to 1.2 BCM of gas, actually. And I believe that if you look at the amount of carbon dioxide that are reduced, that are avoided, it kind of will amount up to 2 million tons. We can definitely talk about saved natural gas that are measured in millions of cubic meters of gas that we have. This is a very significant amount. It will be used differently. It could be used domestically, or it could become part of our export mix that we are currently realizing.
Recently, OPEC at their 9th seminar talked about there being no end of demand for oil anytime soon, certainly not ahead of 2050. And they point to an investment of more than $18 trillion being needed before that time. Does that mean that you in Azerbaijan and with these plants are continuing to invest in hydrocarbons, but also in the renewable side of things?
I mean, Azerbaijan currently has the presidency of COP29 as well. And what matters, and as COP29 presidency, we have been pursuing this goal, the scientific community and the best available science tells us that we need to reach net zero by 2050. That's our best shot, really. It does not mean that by 2050, all hydrocarbons will be out of the sea. What we have been observing in Azerbaijan is that it is increasingly becoming a natural gas country. And natural gas is important in two regards. Natural gas is the least polluting of all fossil fuels out there. And second, natural gas, and we are back to November 8 power plant, is really important for those responsive power plants, because those resilient power plants are usually not coal-fired power plants. So natural gas-fired power plants are really good in terms of integrating more and more renewable energy. So in that sense, I really commend also as part of the COP29 team that Azerbaijan's push for more natural gas, because especially in European continent, as you know, there are a lot of countries that use coal, and if our gas is replacing that coal, in fact, in that sense, it's actually contributing to decarbonization. And in case our gas production will increase considerably, that will happen only if European Commission, with whom we signed a deal in 2022, is going to be supporting this process.
Speaking of November 8th power plant, your turbines are hydrogen ready, but what is the roadmap? What is the timeline for integration?
They will be able to use up to 40% hydrogen. And we already worked the hydrogen strategy with EBRD. But to be honest with you, hydrogen is very expensive, especially green hydrogen. Clean hydrogen is very expensive. What we think, and the way we started to think about hydrogen, is really related to immense offshore wind resources that we have in the Caspian Sea. Because if we want to develop those wind resources at scale, we are going to need some storage capacity. And I think in several months' time, we will start this implementation plan with EBRD. That way, we will have a clearer picture on how exactly we are going to be implementing this.
In terms of the regulations, the policies, and indeed the infrastructure which you have referenced, what else needs to be put in place to make sure that hydrogen is firmly integrated into the energy mix?
I think the first question is really technology. We need to have these mature technologies because electrolyzers that especially we use for green hydrogen, we don't have them at scale. But first and foremost, although I'm saying this last, it's about economics. It's about the cost of production of green or clean or low carbon hydrogen, and how and who will eventually pay for that. Because when you blend hydrogen for electricity production, you are increasing the cost of production. Again, back to November, 8th of November power plant, our state spent several $100 million for this project. But eventually this will help our economy, but also help our climate goals.
We have to leave our conversation there, but it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
The pleasure is mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all that we have time for in this episode of Energy Frontiers, but join me again next time from our studio in Baku, Azerbaijan. I'll see you then.